He's more confident than ever in his ability to do this job. Do you think he is still the right guy?
I think he needs to be afforded a window. I think you can't invest in a manager and not give him the ability to kind of shuffle the pack and get some players in that fit the profile of players that he requires to implement his philosophy. I think that I've said this before on numerous occasions. His way of playing compared to the past regime is very, very different formation and in terms of what he wants them to do and the output. So it's not like he's a manager who's coming out to tweak a couple of things because his philosophy and the identity of his team was similar to the past regime. I think he needs more time. He hasn't had a pre-season. He hasn't had time, as Gareth said, on the training pitch to coach these players as much as he would like, I'm sure. So I think he needs a couple of those things and a recruitment window to really then give him real judgment and be as harsh as you want to be. Because, listen, there's no doubt, and I think he said it himself, it's been a terrible season. It's been a disaster of a season domestically. And now not winning this after putting all your eggs in this basket, this is a disaster as well in that sense. So I think, again, rather than be emotional about it, like there will be a lot of people out there that are, and they're entitled to that, but in the cold light of day, I think he needs some time, and like I said, those things that I said before.
But there's been so much said about how much pressure Ange Postecoglou is under this season, Glenn. Do you think he should be under more pressure? They've only won 2 Premier League points since the start of April.
Well, I agree with Rio. I think he will be under pressure if he doesn't start well next year. The first 10 games are vital for United next year. He didn't really want to come, did he, when he wanted to come? He wanted to come at the end of the season anyway, but they said, no, it's got to be now. So he hasn't had to play any players that he really feels are his, and he hasn't had the time to bed down the system. They've never played 3 at the back, United, over the many, many years. Now, he has to look at himself maybe in the summer to say, in the Premier League, can I make this work? It was different in the Portuguese league, playing for Sporting. So at the end of the day, he's got to look at that first, and then he's got to go out and recruit the players that suits that. At the moment, they've got a batch of very good, apart from Fernandes, I think they've got a batch of really good players. Nothing world-class, nothing special that particularly this club, Manchester United, have always had in their squad.
What will the pressure be like, Gareth, then, at the start of next season now?
Yeah, of course, it's going to be extremely high, but I think everyone at the board, I imagine, wanted that manager. It's kind of up to them now. If they've made the right decision, they should back him. I think he clearly believes in himself, and I think he did a great interview then. He really was respectful to Tottenham, the winners. He didn't create any big headlines with his answers, so I think that showed a true bit of class as well. So I think if the board think he's the right guy, they've got to back him, and like I said before, I think next season now he will have time with no European competition. He'll have time to work on things on the training field because they'll have no midweek games.
Is that the one positive thing, that he will have that time with the players? Because perhaps in their current situation, the Champions League may have been a poison chalice for them.
Yeah, I think it'd be impossible for him to say that publicly, but I think deep down him and his coaching staff will be rubbing their hands together in some sort of way, going, listen, we can now get our hands on these players a bit more and kind of mould them to what we believe is the right way to play.
And he's actually said they're not ready.
Yeah, and not ready. I just don't think. I don't know if they're not ready. I don't think he has the profile of player to play the way he wants to play. I don't think he has the players who are physically capable of going week in, week out, man to man against any team in the Premier League and coming out confidently on top. Until he gets that, I think the way he plays, he needs to have players who can do that. Yeah. And that's why I think the recruitment period now is going to be vitally important.
I think that midfield area for United has been a massive problem. I mean, even the first half here, Spurs didn't have the creation, but the 3 in there for Tottenham tonight smothered them. Totally smothered them first half, and they couldn't get hold of the ball. They couldn't get themselves into the game. And I think in that, when you think of the players they've had in yesteryear in that midfield area, they've got to look at that. Whether you're playing whatever system, you've got to have that right. He's been swapping players and trying to find a little system that's going to help them when they have the wing backs. But I don't see a real clarity of the way. The best they've played was at Anfield. They caused Liverpool all sorts of problems in that 2-2 draw, and they went long. They didn't pass out, and they got 46% possession, playing long, playing no goal kicks, squeezing up to the halfway line. They still got enough, and they caused Liverpool a lot of problems. And I thought then, hang on, the pennies all dropped here for these players, and they look threatening. They look like the tough team to play against in that system. It can be. Tonight, they run out of ideas again.
You can see he clearly doesn't have his type of player to play his way. He's kind of had to, I guess, adapt and try and use the players that he's got to make his style. So I think giving him some transfer windows, getting the players in that he wants to play his style to suit his way of pressing, playing, whatever it is, he needs that time, and I think that's the only way he'll be successful here.
And the club knew how rigid his approach was when they brought him in mid-season, so I guess they have to give him those players to give him a chance.
And that's why I believe they will give him that chance, because they all know there's people in there, Omar, Jason, Wilcox, they understand football. Jason's played the game. You know how important a pre-season is for a player and managers to really implement their philosophy and get their things right and fine-tune things. That pre-season window of opportunity on the grass is hugely important. And another thing, if they thought this season was a pressure cooker for these players, this next 10 games that started this season, the pressure is going to be super high, and these guys have got to be ready to bounce into this season and really hit it head on.
Was it embarrassing? Did the players look embarrassed when they were heading off the pitch, walking past?
No, I just think it's disappointing. I've been there. I've been on the pitch where you've not got the result you wanted, and you lose a big game in a cup final, whether it's Europe or domestic. But it's disheartening. It's embarrassing. Your pride and your ego's hurt. There's pride and ego. There's huge egos out there. You don't get to this level of football without having a big ego and putting your shoulders back and thinking, I am the man. But you get humbled quickly in these moments, and you've got to deal with it. And the summer becomes a long summer. But you want it to come, pre-season to come as quick as you can and get your studs back in the grass.
You're disappointed when you've lost the final, there's no doubt about it, but you can't allow that doubt to come into your mind as a team and an individual. If that engulfs you, then it's a negative and you're going to go down. You've got to embrace it, and you've got to fight it, actually, and take the challenge on. Look forward. It's hard at this moment in time in that dressing room, but look forward to a pre-season. Believe in the manager. It's easy when you've won. Spurs will be looking forward to it, after they've had a few drinks tonight with Sonny. But at the end of the day, you doubt yourself and you've got no chance.